If you know me personally, there's a good chance you know that I adore Mad Max Fury Road. I saw it the last day of school this year, and since then I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. The world that George Miller made was so incredibly intriguing and inventive. A dude with a mouth mask and a cult behind him dying in battle so you can go to Valhalla all for his personal gain. Amazing. An ultra colorful and insane world where the zanier the laws of physics and scenery, the cooler everything is. Amazing. A dude riding the front of a car with amps all around him and his guitar that spits fire. The most amazing thing I have ever seen. This movie easily slipped its way into my top 30, and then I rewatched it and it easily became my top 10, almost top 5. I love this movie so freaking much. So when I remembered about the new addition to the franchise, Furiosa, I was super excited. I mean, obviously there's no way Miller was going to make something better than Fury Road, but it had all the right factors to still be great. I really like Anya Taylor-Joy, even though I haven't seen her in much. Chris Hemsworth seems like a really fun guy, and Thor is one of my favorite MCU characters. And come on, there's no way George Miller, the mastermind behind Happy Feet 2, would disappoint. I love being sorta right on this channel. Our titular Furiosa has a really good story going for her. I think we spend a bit too much time with Kid Furiosa though, cause it takes about an hour for Anya Taylor-Joy to show up. That shot where the back of her head is facing the camera before the climax, she sounded so much like Charlize Theron that I was honestly kind of scared, like please no, let Anya be in more than just an hour of this movie. The actress who plays Kid Furiosa though works really well with what she's got, and I like that Charlize Theron eventually does come back for the final scene, basically leaving off where Fury Road begins. And while Anya doesn't give like a super moving performance, she still does a great job. I love how all of her roles try to empower women and make them fully fleshed out and realistic characters instead of what Hollywood usually does. The rest of Anya's classmates are great. And obviously Chris Hemsworth gives a great performance. I don't know why, but going into this, I thought he was Morton Joe before he got the white makeup and the mask, I guess. I guess the long hair and the antagonistic role. I don't know. I'm dumb. I'm a silly boy. He gets to work with an entirely new character compared to how familiar audiences have gotten with him as Thor. And I love how invested he was in it all. That ending speech was great. I love the voice he's doing, which isn't too familiar or over the top. He has a lot of good comedic moments, and he works as a threatening antagonist. Let's get this guy in more villain roles, please. Pretty please. The editing and the score are also both really great. I love the editing in Fury Road, from the choppy frames to the over-exaggerated color palette, the quick cuts that show so much. The list literally goes on and on. And while Furiosa doesn't have a lot of this, it still has some great editing. The beginning of that 40-day war, when they start talking about it, looks so gorgeous. And I may be biased because my boy shows up in it. Guitar Hero, baby, let's go! And the bonkers editing of Fury Road doesn't really match the tone of this movie, so I think the lack of insanity here is actually good. The cinematography is also killer. If you're wondering why I've reused so many shots in this video, or why I do end up reusing so many shots, it's because there's so many visual cues and shots in this movie that look amazing. And some of the CG is pretty noticeable, which does kind of take me out every now and then, but also George Miller's 74 years old. Obviously, he's not going to shoot everything practically. And now for the question most people are probably asking. Is this better than Fury Road? No, not at all. It has certain aspects that make it better, like the revenge story and the more personal arcs that are happening, but I think it is a worse movie overall. But it's not a bad thing, because this is still an amazing movie, and I highly recommend watching it. It's one of the best films I've seen this year, and is easily going to be on my top of 2024 list whenever that video comes out. So for right now, I'd say that this is probably an 8.5 out of 10, and my second or third favorite of the year, behind Hundreds of Beavers and Inside Out 2. I easily recommend watching this either in theaters or at home. I'd probably say in theaters because I really wanted them to make Mad Max Wasteland, and this movie is flopping, and I am very sad.